is a spreadsheet with information taken from the trailing 2 years. ABA 509 data was used and each school's 509 is linked/viewable for each respective year. The columns are filterable, 3 lines, at the top of each column, by default. I show ordered by number of transfers in, descending for 2024. Best use. For viewing the drop-downs, School of Origin, columns E and L, I would recommend downloading the file or making a copy. Download, top left corner click, File then Download then Microsoft Excel.xlsx. Make copy, top left corner click, File then Make a copy. This will enable you to view the drop-down menu, which displays School of Origin, which is helpful. I only went back to 2023. I do have a large project which should be released shortly, which will have transfer data but only as a small piece of a larger dataset. However, I believe a more succinct and accurate takeaway will be possible regarding law school transfer trends. I felt 2 years was a good start, but I am open to suggestions on data to add, additional years, or any other recommendations you may have to improve this time-saving tool. Also, I know I abbreviated a lot of schools. If there are some which should be changed, please comment. View the spreadsheet, 2023 to 2024 transfer data ABA law schools. Notes/user guide. If a value is blank, the data set had a null value, I expressed this in either a 0 or simply removed the value so that the rest of the sheet would function best. What data is available? If 0 to 5 transfers in, then NO1 LGPA will be provided. If 5 to 12 transfers in, then only 1L 50th percentile GPA will be provided. If 12 plus transfers in, then 1L 25th, 50th, 75th percentile GPA will be provided. School of Origin will be provided if the number of transfers in exceeds 5. Explained by column. A. Shorthand name of school. Shorthand names are also in the drop-down menus. B. Official name of school, hyperlinked, clickable, to school's website. C. Raw number of transfers out of school per 2023 509. This is formatted so that darker gray equals more transfer students and lighter gray equals less transfer students, compared to other schools. D. Raw number of transfers into school per 2023 509. This is formatted so that darker gray equals more transfer students and lighter gray equals less transfer students, compared to other schools. E. Must download or copy sheet to view. This is a list of schools, when available, from where students transferred from in 2023. FH, 25th, median, 75th 1L GPA, when available, in 2023. I. 2023 ABA 509 View PDF link, clickable, for each school. J. Raw number of transfers out of school per 2024 509. This is formatted so that darker gray equals more transfer students and lighter gray equals less transfer students, compared to other schools. K. Raw number of transfers into school per 2024 509. This is formatted so that darker gray equals more transfer students and lighter gray equals less transfer students, compared to other schools. L. Must download or copy sheet to view. This is a list of schools, when available, from where students transferred from in 2024. MO, 25th, median, 75th 1L GPA, when available, in 2024. P. 2024 ABA 509 View PDF link, clickable, for each school. QS, data from Law School Transparency 2024 data. TY, cost figures, assuming full price and 2 years, for semesters. AAAE, employment by school from Law School Transparency 2024 data. Charts. By transfer volume, in. Top 15 by transfer volume, in. Remarks. Georgetown, GULC, by a large margin was the highest volume of transfers in. GULC is the largest American law school by enrollment, see sheet, so this makes sense. Article content. Largest U.S. law schools by enrollment, 2023 and 2024 plus YOY change. George Washington University, which is also a large school, is notable because many students both transfer in and out, whereas at GULC, students tend to only transfer in. Transfer out. George Washington and American University both have notable transfers out. There are discrepancies within the raw data. The reporting is self-reported by schools, and it is important to note it may potentially be unclear, from a school's perspective, if a student is transferring, deferring, or otherwise unclear their status/attrition reason. There may be an incentive for schools to omit transfers out, since this may be seen as a negative or adverse fact. Finally, reporting and tabulating this data is entirely on the school, which is a tedious and compliance-type task, which may make it a less attractive avenue for schools to devote significant effort/time to doing. It appears based on this small, 2-year, dataset, it is possible to transfer from any *law school to any *law school. *equals GPA and other factors dependent/unknown. There were transfers from other within the schools from which students transferred, indicating these instances were perhaps from non-ABA accredited schools. My original intent was to create a dashboard, where 1L GPA and school of origin were inputs, then display an index or likelihood value of transfer to each school. Obvious now, I do not have nearly enough data to even take a stab in the dark at this, and this functionality would be at best a guess. It appears school of origin was a moot point, but, especially at top schools, 1L GPA was imperative to being accepted, is my ignorant assumption. However, again, the data to substantiate this claim is lacking. It is important to note the data on these reports may have inaccuracies, data may be amended/updated, and the ABA assumes no responsibility for inaccuracies, nor do I. Subsequently, the data on both my datasets/spreadsheets, the 509 reports, and other information which is obtainable/shared may be subject to change at any time. The ABA 509, Standard 509 Report, 509 Disclosure, or simply 509 are typically how most people will refer to this handy consumer disclosure report. These reports are released in the rear, typically April-May.